All right, guys, so it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to watch the Borderlands movie the magical way that I know how, and I came across this video where this sovereign citizen is going to go completely off script. I've It's not completely off script because I have heard this one or two times in the past, but this is like prime form sovereign citizen. He's going to try to enact copyright law for why they cannot charge him because they technically can't put his name on any documents because it's copywritten. Enjoy this shit.
Ma'am,
Can
I'll
you
give you
hear?
my name and can prove charges exist. If not, I'll step behind the bar underneath copyright law.
All right, hold on. I'll call your case and I'll give you the floor.
Speech one.
Just page one, if you would, please. Thank you. All right, people of the state of Michigan versus Drew James Peltola, files 247831 SM and file 247819 SM. Mr. Peltola appears from the Dickinson County Jail.
The
Counsel
appellation
at,
known as Drew James Peltola appears before you as an
hold
entity.
on, hold on a minute. Just let me make the appearances, then I'm going to give you the floor, okay? In regard to the matter, Nancy Schaub is here as both his counsel on the underlying file on 247819 SM, as well as the first bond violation. She's here as CAFA counsel on bond violation number 2 in this file, as well as a new file of 7831 SM. Kristen Cass is here on behalf of the prosecutor's office. Drew Peltola, I'm going to give you an opportunity now to say whatever you want to say. Go ahead.
Ma'am, I was trying to get a ride to court this morning. This bond
Oh,
violation
wait, sir. I don't want you to talk about the underlying charges. I wanted you to say whatever you wanted to say. I thought you started to say some sovereign citizen information that you wanted to make a record of.
I am an American non-citizen national that's defined in the United States Code. And I do believe that underneath copyright, once my name is copyrighted through the Daily News, once I put that copyright on your paperwork, that's something called copyright impoundment. That means that under Erie Railroad versus Tompkins, the fictitious entity under due process of law does not apply to my sui juris living being.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to state for the record concerning this issue then, Mr. Peltola?
To start off, we're going to quote the great P. Barnes. Nice speech, but you still ain't getting in. This sovereign citizen wasted so much, I don't know, brain power, brain cells, learning nonsensical pseudo law that he thought the judge was just going to say, oh, yeah, obviously you can just go. Dude, that's not how it works.
No, there's not, Your Honor. I would just like to be released again on a PR bond. You have expedition charges. I'm asking the courts to please release me on a PR bond again, and I'll continue to abide by court rules and stay off of drugs and try to maintain my court dates.
All right. In regard to the matter, then, Mr. Peltola, I have an advice of rights and plea, and for the record, I will acknowledge your comments, your objections in respect to the court's jurisdiction and whatnot are noted for the record concerning your position regarding your status with the court. All your rights are preserved. In regard to the matter, did you understand the advice of rights and plea information form as it was then, Mr. Peltola?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
How about the bond violation arraignment hearing form? Did you understand that?
I do not have it in my hands, but I read it, and yes, I fully understand.
All right, it's signed by you. Today's date. Did you sign it?
Yes, I did. I also brat. Yes, I did, ma'am.
All right, then, in regard to the matter, I also have a waiver of extradition here. I'm going to just go back over what it means to sign one of those. And let me start by saying, so long as you come back to court voluntarily for all your court appearances, this does not become relevant. But if you didn't come back to court, normally you're entitled to what's called an extradition hearing before you are returned to Michigan. And the purpose of an extradition hearing allows you to challenge the legality of your arrest and return to Michigan to fight the underlying charges. And the bond violation. Now with the new bond violation, are we going to set both bond violations together, or do you want to proceed on the first one today?
I would like to set both of them together, I think in the interest of justice, and prosecutor had made an offer on the original file, and I think they will be making a new offer. And I think in light of that, it would be best to adjourn those matters.
I believe I spoke on this in a live stream and a short. Bond and bail is just messed up currently. There's no reason this guy should even be mentioning his name and bond in the same sense. He wants to get released again, and he pinky swears that he'll come back and get his stuff on as soon as he gets off the drugs. You have 2 bond violations, which to me means you don't know how to handle yourself while on bond. So why should the court give it to you?
So we have a jury trial set for March 8th in that matter. All right, did you wish to be heard on bond then on the newest bond violation as well as the new underlying charge?
Yes, Your Honor. Actually, the newest bond violation predates the previous bond violation. The first bond violation is alleged to have occurred on February 22nd. This current bond violation that is being rained on today is alleged to have occurred on February 19th. And in light of that, I would ask the court to consider setting either a reasonable bond or, again, a PR bond. In discussing this matter with Mr. Peltola, he does have criminal matters pending in Brown County, and there is a court date on Monday in that case. It looks like from the lien printout, he may have had some issues either in the past or currently appearing in court. And I'd like to be able to have Mr. Peltola be able to take care of that matter. It looks like it's a more serious matter than the matters in this court.
I know this is just going to be like a new concept. Do you know how you can guarantee that he shows up for court? Don't release him on bond when he's already proven he can't show up. Also, turns out Zoom, it makes it real easy to show up in court. And you can do it from really, really far away. So if they keep him in jail in one county, he can just zoom in to the other court. Or they can throw him in jail and say, yeah, he's going to be late for that court case.
If he can make those arrangements to get down to Green Bay to take care of that. He's given me the name of his attorney, and I intend to contact that attorney and see what Mr. Peltola needs to be doing with regard to that case. So if the court does not grant a bond that he can post, perhaps we can make arrangements for him to appear from the jail here.
All right, concerning the matter, then I have some concerns regarding Mr. Peltola. He seems to be on a spiral. This started with a disorderly drunk on February 4th in a public place. I saw him on February 5th. I set his bond terms. I saw him back on February 12th, with a .236 on a preliminary breath test. I set bond at that time on the bond violation and the underlying. And the reason I told him then that I was going to give him the break is that normally I see people in between, they get arraigned, I give them the warning, and then they come back on a bond violation. He had not had the warning in between because he violated his bond so quickly that I saw him all at once. So I told Mr. Peltola at that time that I would set the bond at a 1,000 PR, but understand that if he came back again, he would leave me no opportunity or new choice. So here we are, not even a week later, on February 19th, stealing alcohol from the Norway Quick Stop, involving another bond violation as well as a new underlying charge that I'm free to assume is true for purposes of setting bond. So for purposes of setting bond today, then for the following reasons, and in regard to his Wisconsin matters, very serious matters, he's got 2 felonies pending in Brown County from 2023. The first one alleges possession of narcotic drugs, a felony, possession of a controlled substance on or near certain places with a modifier, carrying a concealed knife, possession of drug paraphernalia. That case has been pending through for quite some time. And he has a court date for a status conference scheduled for February 26th at 11 a.m.
Now, I don't want to be the guy who said, hey, that guy who talked earlier was right. Yeah, that guy that talked earlier was me. When I said he shouldn't have bond anymore, so it was drunk in public or drunk and disorderly, stealing alcohol, which I'm assuming he was going to be drunk and disorderly after that, on top of felony narcotics. I forgot what the other one was. Felony drug paraphernalia. Having a concealed knife while doing all of that. Yes, please leave him in jail and don't give him a bond. society is better off. Or give him like a $10,000 bond. He's not going to be able to make it. He's going to be in jail.
Then, so the date of this offense was filing date of 2/10 of 2023. He's got a filing date of March 15th of 2023 in Brown County. Another felony alleging bail jumping as well as possession of drug paraphernalia. Likewise, that has a court date at the same date and the same time as the other pending felony.
I think that is part of the other pending felony. They charge it as a separate offense, but
It's a separate case. Total separate case, total separate charges, total separate bond, total separate court dates. This is file 23 CF 448. The first one is 23 CF 240. So in respect to the matter, my point being for purposes of setting bond, Mr. Peltola has some substance abuse issues going on. He's got numerous cases pending in Wisconsin as well as now here. In regard to the matter, Mr. Peltola, I'm going to direct you to talk to your lawyer. I'm setting bond concerning the new theft case. Then the conditions are going to be as follows. Mr. Peltola may not enter into the Norway Quick Stop as a condition of his release. He is not to purchase, possess, or consume alcohol or non-prescribed controlled substances. Mr. Peltola is subject to random PBTs and drug screens. Mr. Peltola may not go in any businesses that sell alcohol for use inside, such as bars and taverns.
So I know Ed is going to be out there somewhere and he's going to judge me for this, but back in my day, if you had any problems like this with alcohol, you were coming in a PBT twice a day at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. That's it. And you better blow zeros, or guess what? Bond violation. This guy needs to be on some sort of program like that where he's PBTing several times a day because he's a fuck up.
Recreational and medicinal marijuana use and possession are prohibited until or unless further order of the court. Conditioned on him signing that waiver of extradition, which I do have in the file, I will allow him to go back and forth to Wisconsin for purposes of court hearings and or meeting with his attorney. If
in residency, he lives in Wisconsin.
in residency, no, he lives in Vulcan, or he says Vulcan. Is that just your
Bracketed.
mailing address?
Yes, we can do it like that if you choose to.
Well, where is your residency?
My residency and my domicile.
And that's your mailing address, though?
Yes, but the problem is that building's not registered anywhere. I had to go to the post office and I had something mailed and they told me that my mail was being returned and because there's no actual mailboxes in the building.
All right, so I got two issues I need to deal with here. One, do you live in Wisconsin? Do you have to go to Wisconsin for purposes of residency or just your court stuff?
My mailing address, my residency, and my domicile are all registered at my mother's house. There was some unexplained events that I will not say out loud.
I don't know where your mother's house is, Mr. Peltola.
Address.
In regard to bond, then condition on him signing a waiver of extradition, I'll allow him to go back and forth between Michigan and Wisconsin for residency, court appearances, meetings with his attorney. In regard to the matter, if you relocate for any reason, you must provide the court with an updated address and phone number within 7 days of any change. Concerning the amount of the bond on the new retail fraud, I'm going to set that. I'm finding for both of them, actually, I'm going to make a record based on the factors the court is required to consider under MCR 6.106, considering the frequency, the charges, the dates that I have mentioned, as well as the ongoing Wisconsin matter. I am finding that to release him on a personal recognizance bond would not adequately ensure public safety. In regard to the bond violation, concerning the matter, then I am going to set the bond violation at $2,500 cash surety, 10%. So, Mr. Peltola, those bonds are set. If you get out, you make sure to get in touch with your lawyer. If you're in
Can I say
custody,
something?
she'll be in touch with you. You may.
Yes. You know, I don't understand how I can tell you that I'm an American national and you can hold me in a county jail under bond Especially today when I was arrested on a larceny under $200, somebody changed case prefixes and the warrant got dropped to a misdemeanor. And now you're still going to illegally hold me in a county jail under bond?
All right, Mr. Peltola, I'm not going to argue with you. Your sovereign citizen has been noted for the record. In regard to the matter, you are under the order of the court. You're under the jurisdiction of the court. I decline to follow what your...
Can I at least admit I was arrested on a larceny charge that was dropped through a case prefix, UN, all incoming evidence? Can I at least have you admit that in the court of law that you guys illegally kidnapped me again with a larceny through John Rod D. Clark, Norway Police Department? Can I just have you admit that once?
No, Mr. Peltola, I don't even know what you're talking about. I will not admit that. Thank you to the jail. We are off the record on this matter.
All right, guys, and that's the video. I just want to finish this up by saying this is another case of a sovereign citizen who was radicalized in a domestic terrorist type of thinking because he wanted to try to skirt responsibility for his actions. At no point, if you're a American non-citizen national, if you're a French citizen, if you're a Canadian citizen, at no point can you steal from a liquor store. Can you be drunk and disorderly? Can you randomly do whatever you're doing in public, fuck around and blow a, .2 something they said? You can't have 2 pending felonies, and you can't have 2 pending bond violations. So him saying, so you're telling me, but yeah, that's what the court's telling you. They're holding you responsible for your actions, and you don't like that. So you tried to Google some, how can I get out of this? And you came across sovereign citizens shit, and now you're ruining your life further. So first off, fuck you, random guy. Everybody else, though, have a good rest of your day. Peace.